Hey there viewers, welcome back to Ray of All Trades. Today we are in the camper, getting it ready for the season, and the wife wanted a new kitchen faucet. This one here sprayed everywhere. I took it apart a couple times. The O-rings go bad in them, but she really wanted a pull down style RV faucet. So we're going to try to put one of those in real quick, show you it's actually pretty easy to do. So on this style camper, I've got two PEX lines. PEX is the brand of piping here. Red representing the hot water and blue representing the cold water. So these just have threaded connections on the bottom of them. They're usually just hand tight. Pull those off. If you have not winterized your camper, you're probably going to have some water come out of there. So make sure the water's turned off. And I had already taken this faucet off. So these captive nuts, basically just unscrew those. So blue line's off, the hot on the left, cold on the right, and poop flows downhill. That's about what I know for plumbing. And for that style sink, that's all we have to do. Now just grab the faucet and lift it right out. Take this opportunity to clean up underneath the sink where it sits. This is where some vinegar and water actually usually does a pretty good job. I didn't have access to that real easily. I would have had to mix some up. So I just grabbed some degreaser. Some sinks will stain by using a degreaser, so just make sure you test it before you start using any products. So the sink we're going to install is this style. It has the pull down. And it's a single basin, but I've got 3 holes in my sink here. So I'm going to use the plate that it came with. This, I've already checked it. This is not an adhesive pad on this side. It's just a regular pad. I'm going to put it, cover up both of those. You can use a little bit of silicone to hold those, but it's not going to take very much to do so. Pull this washer off. Excuse me, this locking nut. Pull it completely off out the way. Looks like I'm gonna have to pull these lines out before I can get that piece out. So let's get those out of the way. Start pulling my hoses out one at a time until I have room to pull that other one out. There we go. And that one. So that's off. Let's get the we're going to pull off that washer and that rubber O-ring. Because I want those to be on the bottom side of that plastic sink pushing up. Because if you think about it, you're going to tighten this up and then you're going to tighten up these 2 screws to finally lock it in place. So I want those to be pushing on that washer, metal washer, and I want that rubber ring pushing on the bottom of the sink. And all of that's going to be pushing up on this and down. Downwards pressure comes from this right here. Feed everything down through the hole. Just nice and gentle, just like that. Okay. I'm going to set a box here just in case it falls, it lands on something. And then we're going to grab the little weight that we need. Alright, so the rubber O-ring goes first. The metal ring on second. I think if I hold it just right, it might fit through here. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so those 2 are on. Kind of close quarters here. So anyway, I'm going to put the metal ring on next. make sure that it's facing the right direction so that the screw heads are going up. There, how about that? Alright, so we're going to take make sure that the screw heads are accessible from underneath. So just make sure it's going on in the right direction. You guys see that? Okay. I think we can get this to go on here. No, let's go ahead and pull one of these connectors out and see if we can get it to go on. There we go. Just pulling one of those hoses out gave me enough room. So let's put that flexible one back down. I'm gonna finish fishing this up here, and we're gonna thread it on. I'm gonna finish pushing those washers up on there. I'm gonna finish threading this on in place. Let's go and get this somewhat snug. There we go, starting to drag a little bit. Alright, I'm going to line those up so I can get access to screws. One more turn. Alright, so we can access the screws. Now let's check the orientation of the faucet. Looks like I want that handle, I think I want it on this side over here. I actually put stuff on the counter over here, so I think having it over here makes more sense. And then turn there. So I want the handle on that side and the faucet just like that. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's go ahead and center this up, because when I tighten it, it's going to pull down on the whole thing. So on a regular stainless sink basin, you can tighten these up pretty good. On these plastic ones, I'm going to probably take this in several steps. I'm going to go ahead and snug it up, try it, and potentially maybe even snug it up after I get on the road and it bounces down the road a little ways. Let's check up top. I'm going to just move this plate back and forth and see if it moves. Move this back and forth. There's going to be some play because it's a plastic sink, so I'm expecting some play. There is a hose with a quick connect fitting on it, this black hose. It's going to go right into this quick connect fitting right here. All I'm going to do is push them together. That is the hose that actually is for your flexible sink head, the one that pops out. So you want to make sure that the orientation of it allows for it to move up and down. So we're going to do that. Snap the two together. Listen for that positive click, and it snapped together. All right. Now the side of the hose that goes up through the sink, the one that actually moves, this one here, we want that side to have the weight on it. All right, so I think there's a sticker right here. Let's see, install weight here. So we're going to put this weight, we're going to attach that weight right over the top of the sticker. It doesn't have to be bone crushing tight, you just don't want it to slip on there. I've got two water lines that, if I had the normal shutoff valves for this PEX pipe, I would just thread them right on, tighten them up. I'd be good to go. I don't have that. All I've got is the regular PEX pipes that had got some of my antifreeze coming out of here. I've got the regular fittings on here that attach to a sink barb. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the PEX pipe, and I've got a really cool little kit that we're just going to cut these. We're going to add a crimp connector with a fitting on it, and we'll tighten them together. So I bought this little these little quick connects for PEX. Let's see, what did they give me here? So, little PEX quick connects, right? So we're just going to pull this end off, and then that hose is going to thread right onto here. So, oh, losing my bits and pieces. So let's get 2 of those out. 1, 2. Let's see, eye crimp makes PEX a breeze. Okay. Looks like an assortment of crimp connectors, hose cutter, and I'm going to see if I can unpack this, take out the cutter, we'll cut it to size, drop these on, crimp them, and screw our hoses onto it. Let's check some theory of operation here. So it looks like you use the cutter to just cut the pipe as normal, like a pair of scissors. I'm going to push a crimp ring on first, and then slide this into the tube, and then slide the crimp ring up, and I'm going to use these crimpers to squeeze on this this top hat part right there. And it looks like all I'm going to do is put that in there like that. Okay, I'm going to line that up just like that, and then it's set to crimp until it releases. If you only go halfway, it's going to stop. You have to squeeze it all the way till it releases, and that should give you a full crimp. Looks like you would pull that lock out, and you would push this out and change this to a 2. Maybe it's the other way. Change that to a 2 for cutting, which I assume that cuts with that. So you would turn it to a 2 for cutting and turn the 1 next to the red dot for crimping. So put that to a 1, push that in, and lock it in place. Alright, let's see if we can get this done. I've got a few tries. Let's see, the blue line will actually reach if I have that cut way back here. So let's try to cut that back here. Oh, that cut real easy. Let's put the crimp on there. Take the water line shutoff valve, slide that on, slide this up. I'm guessing I probably want the quarter turn valve somewhere where it's easily accessible. I didn't have one before, so I guess anything's accessible. I'm going to slide that about halfway down the connector, something like that. Let's see, let's put okay, it looks like it lines up just like that, so I'm not all the way up against the front end or the back end. It's taking a lot of effort. And the crimper released on its own. I didn't have to flip anything to make it release. And let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's not turning inside the hose. Let's get it about the same length as the other one. Man, that cuts like butter. Slide a crimp ring on there. Slide the shutoff valve on there. Have it in the same orientation, like up versus, down. So I'm going to do that up. And then let's move the crimp ring up about halfway up that connector. Okay, just like that. Grab my crimper. All in place. Not that hard to do, it's just hard to do one-handed while I'm trying to balance all this and work around the light and the camera. Okay, just make sure that's seated all the way in. Nothing moved on me. All the way down to the releases. Let's check our fitting. Yep, looks like it crimped on there pretty decent. It's not turning. Okay. Tell you what, let's put these two hoses up above this ductwork. We're going to take the one with the blue stripe on it, go to the blue water line, thread it on. Red water stripe, or the red stripe, put it on the red water line. I need to get a pair of channel locks for that, and I'm going to get a adjustable wrench for this. I'm going to snug those two up. It doesn't take much because they're rubber. They have rubber O-rings in them. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So let me clean up my mess, grab the tools, I'll be right back. Not a lot of pressure here, guys. It's and gals. It's a I'm just holding this so I don't break anything. I'm just going to snug this up because it's got a rubber fitting inside it. Okay, right now the two water valves are in the off position. I'm going to go hook up water to the camper and do a couple things. I'm going to de-winterize and then I'm also going to check and make sure that the sink works. Okay, I turn on the water. I'm not seeing any leaking yet, so let's turn on that one and we'll turn on that one. And it looks like my faucet was already on because I hear water running. Okay, so when you have antifreeze in your lines, that's basically what you get right there. Let's see. Press the button. Press that. That's that one. That one. What is that? Just temporary shut off? Okay. Alright. Goes back up into the holder. Let's see. Looks like that should be hot water. That should be cold water. It turns off. We're going to call that one a win. Wife will be happy. Happy wife, happy life. Make sure I don't have any leaks going on down here. Yeah, we're in good shape. So the weight has free movement, so it can move. Water lines are up out of the way. PEX piping is kind of weird because it just floats in places. Some places it's anchored and some places not. But I've got a trash can that usually goes right here. So I really didn't want to run it down here and risk getting hit all the time. So up here it's kind of protected by the pipe. Trash can back. Other than the mess I made, I think the wife will be happy. Hope you guys got something out of it. Easy way to update your RV. Do a little bit of plumbing repair at the same time. If you like what you saw, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. All those help the channel a lot. Tells YouTube I'm doing a good job. Catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out.